We match now. Look at your little black hair. Look at your black elbows and your black head and your black little back. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really exciting video for you guys. I'm going to be sharing with you how I keep my hair as jet black as I do. I'm no hairstylist and my hair has been through a lot, but I like to keep my hair black. My hair is about like a deep mousy brown shade. I've been dyeing my hair at home jet black for as long as I can remember. I remember in high school I would be dyeing my hair black. One tip I do have, and this has been a lifesaver, if you are wanting your hair to look extremely black and last, my recommendation is finding a dye with a either violet or blue undertone. I have one here from Garnier and this is just a black tone. I do have this one on hand, but it's not my first choice. I'm more inclined to purchase a box dye like this one, which is blue black, or this one which has an indigo tint to it, because then my hair is going to have that nice rich cool tone undertone to it. That's how I achieved this really like cool tone hair. Now the dye I did use last night to dye my hair was the L'Oreal Feria, and this is number 11 Cool Black. I don't find with these colors that your hair actually turn out to either be like indigo or violet. I find that it just gives you a nice cool undertone to your hair. I dye my hair every 6 weeks just because I have a lot of gray hair coming in. Ugh, I know. And my hair had faded quite a bit and it was now like a deep brown color. As always, there is a color guide on the box, so if you're curious what your hair will turn out after, you can refer to the guide. All you're really gonna need to dye your hair is your box of dye, maybe a brush, maybe a comb, and a clip. The contents of box dyes are pretty consistent across the board. You will always receive a bottle of developer. This is a cream developer. And you will always receive a bottle of color as well. Unique to this box, it also includes an aromatic shimmer serum. And as always, box dyes typically always come with a bottle of conditioner. There are also some fairly detailed instructions, as well as a pair of black gloves, which are perfect for me. Take your time and read the instructions. You want to know what you're doing before you begin. Mixing the color is like riding a bike for me. To mix the color, take the developer, remove the cap. You also want to pop off the little tip as well. You're going to pour all of the contents of the color into the bottle of developer and give that a shake. This box of dye does come with the shimmer serum, so I'm also going to add that in. Always ensure that you are shaking the bottle with the tip away from you. And just as the instructions say, make sure that all of the contents are completely combined before you begin. I've gotten down the system of how I dye my hair pretty down pat. I personally don't put down any Vaseline or barrier cream because I've been doing this for quite a while and I don't find that I get dye everywhere, but if you want a little extra protection, feel free. Because my roots are virgin hair, I want to make sure that I'm putting dye there first in order for the dye to really penetrate. I actually use the nozzle of the bottle to part my hair, and then I'll place little lines of the dye on opposite sides of the part. I am not going to be putting the dye directly on my scalp because I'm not trying to dye my scalp. I'm trying to dye the hair, and that is why I do a stripped motion on either side of the part. I typically start in the middle of my head, work my way around to one side, almost to the back of my head as well. I'll switch over to the opposite side and continue the same process. I'm also ensuring that I am getting every single area along my hairline as well. Doing this method, I don't need to separate my hair in any sections. I know by the feel of it that I am getting every square inch of my head. From this point, I will give my scalp a nice massage just to make sure that the dye is all spread around my roots. Once my whole scalp is done, I'll move on to the actual ends of my hair. And what I'll do for that is I grab a section, I flip it over onto my head and pour the dye on there. And I'll continue that for every section of my hair. I like to wrap my hair up in a bun, stick a clip in it, and then wait the allotted time. For this box of dye, I am leaving the dye on my hair for 20 minutes. The reason I'm doing 20 and not 25 as the directions state is because the dye has already been sitting on my hair while I've been applying it for roughly about 10-15 minutes. I only shampoo my hair once in the shower after I have rinsed out the dye. If you've let most of the dye run off before you actually go into shampooing, I find that your shampoo isn't going to be so saturated with the color and will prevent your hands from being stained. And make sure you don't get this in your eyes because it burns. I like to ensure that I am using a fade defying shampoo like this one right here. and it also has a matching conditioner. It's going to protect color treated hair, prevent premature fading, and lock in the color. I like to get right into my scalp and really rub my scalp, and this is what's going to remove most of the dye from my scalp. I always make sure to use the conditioner that does come with the box of dye as well. And this is the color that I ended up with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was so highly requested. Even when I see people with black hair, I'm like, how is your hair so black? 10 to 1, they're using a dye with a cool undertone to it. Anyway, now that I have a cat here, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Baby, do you like my new hair?